Good evening. How are we all doing? It's past. Let's see if it works. Good evening. Yay! That's always good to know. Right, let's click that on there. Share that to my profile. I might even be daring and share it to the group as well tonight. Let's have a look, see if that works. And then we can get rocking and rolling, folks. Yeah, let's put it on there. Yeah, we're on the my personal profile. We're on the group, and of course live on the page, which some of you will hopefully be tuning in to watch. It's dead on past, so I can't expect to be loads of people just yet. But if you're watching this live or on catch up, good evening. Welcome to Songs and Stories, episode 78. 78, my God, that's loads. And if you haven't joined before, I've been doing this since lockdown. Had lots of breaks in between, obviously, but it's a platform I still enjoy doing. A chance for me to, play some songs and tell you some stories, to give you some background about why I write the songs. I'm also building up to recording a new acoustic album, and hopefully going to be writing a book to accompany it. And it's been really useful the last few streams because it's given me background into the songs, and I've been really good. I've been making notes. Look at this. I've been making notes of all the songs that I've been featuring on these streams, which all go towards the book. So, but more news on that another time. Good evening, Alice. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Yeah. Let's open up with a song and see who turns up. One, two. We're all good to go. This is I'm going to open up this Waterboys song. It's so apt for a cold, damp winter's evening. I went for quite a long walk earlier in the rain and through the woods, and I thought I've got to play this song. This is Medicine Bow. Money the words. Wind blowing, a typhoon on the rise, rumbling rain, murderous skies. Gonna wake my books, I'm gonna wear my coat, I'm gonna find my scarf, wrap it around my throat, and you can come with me. Driving slow, we're gonna ride on up to Medicine Bow. Well, I spent 2 I'm gonna tug on my tether, I'm gonna tear on my lead, I'm gonna test my knowledge in the field of deeds. And you can run with me, fast as we can go, over the hill to Medicine Bow, Medicine Bow, Medicine Bow, Medicine Bow. Medicine Bow by the Waterboys. Like I say, a very apt song. It always reminds me of dark winter nights. Good evening, Roger. And good evening once again to all of you who've just tuned in, whether it be live or on catch-up, because this is going to go straight over to YouTube once this is finished. Hello, Amber. Yeah, I had loads of views last time. It was great to get over the 1K mark on Facebook. I left it on for a week before I took it off. So I think I'm going to probably do that again. So it'll be on Facebook for about a week, and then it'll just be on YouTube and on the steviejones.com/livestreams page. Yeah. So in case you just tuned in, it's free to view, but as I said in the intro, I am gearing myself up for doing a new acoustic album, and any monies that are raised tonight from any donations or merch sales will go towards that. So there's a tip jar on steviejones.com/store. There's a link as well on the page or wherever you're watching it. And if you could put something in there, that would be amazing. And also all the CDs and merch is set at pay what you like. It's a £5 minimum, but if you want to grab hold of a t-shirt, CD, or just put something in the tip jar, it would be amazing. I'm going back in the studio on Friday. I've already recorded about 11 songs. I'm going to keep going and get a whole batch of songs down. They're acoustic arrangements with a few guests. And that will be the formation of the new album, and it will be based around these songs that I've been playing over the last couple of years on Songs and Stories, and then the book will accompany it, hopefully with as well, to come out some point next year. So Medicine Bow, let's talk about that song, why I picked it. If you rewind back to 1985, the Waterboys released an album called This Is the Sea, and it was a very, very important album to me, and a huge influence on me. Really changed my perception of music and stuff like that. And I got into it because my mum had bought the cassette of This Is the Sea, and she was a big fan of their single The Whole of the Moon, which many of you will know, which is still, I think, possibly my favourite song of all time. Strangely enough, I've never learnt it, and I need to. That's my kind of go-to song, really, and probably the song to play me out at my funeral. But let's not go there at the moment. But that's in my will, that will be my funeral song. That's how much the Waterboys and that song mean to me, and it was my mum, bless her, that got me into them. And funny enough, just before I came on air now, my mum phoned me up, and we had a little chat, and I told her that I was going to be playing Medicine Bow and chatting about how I got into them. And I remember going around to her house and her just playing on this silver ghetto blaster. It's before we all had CDs, and it was the cassette. And she's playing This Is the Sea, and it's just so good. It really, really inspired me, really moved me, those songs. She lived in Parkview in Kettering, and it was a lovely turn of the century, like 1906, I think the house was built. Turn of last century, should I say. lovely old house, a nice big hallway and a really big kitchen. We had this big wooden table as well. We also used to have loads of friends round. She was had the old lodger staying as well. My brothers were really little as well, so that there were twins running around, and it was always very welcoming for me and my friends. And we always used to play a lot of music there as well. And my mum's, you know, got a great taste in music. She's always got me into stuff as well, including the Waterboys. And I just remember that so much. That album being played regularly in the kitchen. And I was studying English A level at the time at Kettering Tech. So my mind was really open to a lot of literature. And I was really into the poets. I was really into like Milton and John Donne, and we were studying as part of the course William Blake, and I just got really into William Blake around that time. And I read this article about the Waterboys and that Mike Scott, his songwriting had been inspired by the poets like Blake, as well as music like Dylan and Van Morrison, which I was really getting into at the time. So I'd already heard of the Waterboys, so when I came across this album and I was getting into it, it all kind of fell into place. Really fitted to where I was. I was living in Kettering around that time in a shared house, and I'd always grown up in a village. You know, I'd been brought up in Little Addington, and countryside was always really important to me. So when I spent my sort of later teens, when I moved out of home in this shared house, I was away from contact with countryside. And around that time I was hanging around with a couple of friends, Nid and Coxie, and Nid had gone out one night and found the fields, an area of field just outside Kettering, and he came. When I'd seen him around that time, he was like, "Oh, I found this amazing place called the Quarry. It's just incredible. I just walked for miles and I wanted to get out of the town, and we've got to go there." And we went there, and we found the area, which is Weekly Hall Woods, which is still such an important part of my life, with the Save Weekly Hall Woods campaign, and I'll still go walking up there regularly. But that's when we found it through this friend, and yeah, we had many a walk up there, and I was able to connect with the countryside again, which meant so much to me. So I used to leave this shared house in Kettering, pop over to my mum's, you know, take my washing there or whatever, have some tea, grab hold of the dog, my dog Tina, God bless her. She was actually living with my mum, and I used to get her and just head out to the fields, this new area of countryside that I discovered. And This Is the Sea by the Waterboys always featured on the old headphones, and it really meant so much to me, being able to connect back with nature again with the backdrop of the Waterboys. And that area of countryside, we called it the Kingdom. It was so important to us, and loads of us used to go up there and camp, and many a good summer up there as well. But yeah, literally, for me anyway, individually, I remember just like at the end of the night, after the pub, I just go, right, you know, I really need to go for a walk, and I just grab the dog and just head out into the dark and like push my limits of fear, you know, and walk through the woods like at midnight, just because it was scary, and it would like push my boundaries. Sort of nothing, you know, it's not going to be any axe murderers out there. It's just going to be some foxes and some badgers and stuff. And yeah, it was like under a full moon and that, and I was quite into the occult, and you know, and looking into all that kind of stuff as well. So it was very spiritual at the time, and with all the poets, and yeah, the whole of, yeah, so that sort of romanticism, I guess, and it helped fuel my songwriting. And then if you fast forward into May 1986, me and my mum went to go and see the Waterboys at Leicester Uni, and that was a life-changing experience. It talked about that in previous streams, but seeing them live just blew my mind, and it really inspired me to go out and buy an acoustic and you know, get into that sort of things. Because before that, I was just more into like alternative punk and the Clash and New Model Army, Sisters of Mercy and stuff like that. So seeing the Waterboys really changed my direction to head down to the acoustic Dylan, Van Morrison type stuff. So thank you, Mike Scott and the Waterboys. So there you go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back in the studio anyway and doing a bit more and getting some more songs down. On the last album, Getting There, which you can buy on CD here, it also actually features a Waterboys cover as well, because track 3 on this album is Trumpets. Yeah, if you haven't heard the album, yeah, it's on all the streaming platforms as well, or you can buy a CD as well. I'm not sure if Medicine Bow, if I'm going to record it this week or not. We'll see. But I just thought I'd do it tonight anyway and get the story down. And yeah, maybe it will feature on this new album. So what else have I been up to? Let's just fill in since the last was online 2 weeks ago. I did mention that the Oundle Folk Weekend was on. That was the weekend before last, and it was a brilliant weekend, curated by Boo Hewerdine. Again, amazing that Boo Hewerdine was an influence on me in the 90s actually, and now to be involved in helping him put on a full weekend of music with some of his own special guests was fantastic. Our good friend Mr. Chris Brown did a fantastic set. Polly Paluzma was absolutely awesome, and as were Boo and Heidi Talbot as well. I didn't catch the whole of the weekend because I was doing other things. I actually had a gig in Little Addington, a covers gig on the Friday, so I missed that part of the weekend, but I was there for the Saturday and part of the Sunday, and yeah, really good. But for me, the special moment was watching Michelle Stoddart from the Magic Numbers doing a solo set, and she really blew my mind. And I had a good chat with her afterwards as well. Do check her out. We're hopefully going to try and get her on for a gig back in Oundle next year. I shall be in contact with her. But she was great, and Bob and Adrian and Ant all did a fantastic a fantastic job, should I say, of putting it on, and it pretty much sold out as well. So brilliant. We've got some great gigs coming up as well with Little Ember Sessions. That was actually under the Vix Gigs banner. It was more of Bob's baby than mine, but it's always great to help him anyway, even if it isn't my official gig, because my baby is Little Ember Sessions with Bob. But some of them are just billed as Vix Gigs, and that was one of them. But it's always good to help them anyway. But if you do want to check out vixgigs.com or the Facebook page, you'll see what's coming up next year. We've obviously got the Soundle, which is the all weekend music festival in June. But in and amongst around that, dates of loads of other really great acts starting from January onwards. And I'm just waiting to confirm a really favourite guest of mine as well, who emailed me earlier, and they're really up for it. We're just trying to confirm the date, and when that comes up, I shall be very excited and be announcing it at Future Songs and Stories. So watch this space. Very exciting. Let's do another song. 6 people are watching live. That's good. Hopefully I won't get interrupted by the cats this evening. We'll see. I can hear Lottie scurrying around. Hello, Lottie. You causing mischief? Hey? They're not going out much in this weather. Oh, it's been horrible, isn't it? Absolutely horrible. Might help if I plug in, eh? Okay, we're going to go back to the originals now. Cheers, good healthy all, by the way. What's everyone drinking at the moment? Of course, I'm on my usual Guinea Zero. We're going to go way back to 1995. A song I wrote called, this is actually just called Summer. I've got a feeling about your heart, and it's getting so much closer day by day. And time is a healer, and now I know everything is just about to change. And even though that we have never met, the summer might send you on my way. And I got a feeling about your heart, and everything is just about to change. But even though that we have never met, the summer might send you on my way. And I got a feeling about your heart, and everything is just about to change. And I get a feeling about your heart, and I get a feeling about your heart. It's getting so much closer, it's getting so much closer, it's getting so much closer day by day. Yeah, that is called Summer. Cheers. So, summer 1995, I'd been around that time anyway. I'd been crashing on my sister's floor, her flat in Leicester, from about the February. I've been doing quite a lot of sofa surfing and stuff for a while, in between jobs in archaeology, and I'd been for an interview for the Museum of London to go and work on some archaeological sites on the Jubilee line when they were building that in London. And I was very excited about it. I'd always wanted to work for that archaeological unit. They're very prestigious. And I was looking forward to perhaps moving back to the London area, because I had previously worked there at Hampton Court in early '94. So I went for the interview, it went really well, and they were like, oh yeah, we'll let you know in 2 or 3 weeks when you can start. great. So I was staying on my sister's floor in the meantime, in between places to live. And the weeks went by, and I phoned them up and said, any news about the job? No, it'll be a couple of weeks. And then it got into March, and same thing happened again in April, and then we got to May. And by the time we got to May, I was ringing them up and saying, when is this bloody job going to happen? And they were like, well, we're really sorry, but it's going to happen, but we don't know when. And I was just like getting really hacked off, and I've been spending a lot of time at my friend Nid's house, Nid and Katrina, my friends at the time, in Leicester, and me and Nid had been collaborating on some poetry, and just spending the whole day drinking, basically, writing poetry and watching art house films, and that's what we were doing, and I wasn't in a good place at all, really. Mentally, I was a bit fucking all over the place, to be honest with you, at that time. And it didn't help that I was waiting in limbo for this job to come up. So the time we got to the sort of end of May time of that year, I decided that I might as well try and find somewhere to live, and I kind of declared myself homeless because I was crashing on their sofa, I was crashing on my sister's sofa. This job wasn't coming up, and I just thought, you know what, it's not going to happen. So housing officer came round, interviewed me. Within 6 weeks, I got given this flat right in the middle of Leicester city centre, the 14th floor to Montfort House. And it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. It all happened really fast. And it probably wouldn't do now, would it, once you declared yourself homeless? But suddenly I had the keys to this flat on the 14th floor that overlooked the whole of the city, And I remember my dad had not long moved out of his house, and he gave me some furniture, and there was some kind of charitable thing that gave me a table and chair and stuff like that. And I remember sitting down and start looking out the window, just feeling of, this is a great fresh new start. This is brilliant. And then I got the call from the archaeology people, the Museum of London people, saying the job's a go ahead. You can come down to London now. So I was like really stuck. I had this really nice flat in Leicester, but I was still signing on. I was on the dole, but I've been offered this job down in London. So anyway, I decided to at least go down and have a look and see what the job in London was all about. And I had a friend, Jackie, who I was staying with. And I went down went down, had my induction, and went in and went and found this site. And we were right underground, obviously, because, we were doing the excavations prior to them building the Jubilee line, the underground. And there's some Roman stuff down there, but it's all under floodlights. And it was like to crawl through underneath these big sewage pipes. It was really, really hot because it was right in the middle of a really hot summer. There was a labourer behind me who was emptying my barrow. And I got chatting to him, and he was getting paid more by the hour than I was for doing a school archaeology job. And I lasted 1 day. Or it could have been 2 days, I think. I think the second day, I missed a train or something. I thought, sod this, you know what I mean? It's like, I might as well just move back to Leicester, and that's where I'm kind of meant to be. This job isn't for me. I just didn't enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? It was like, I'd know to live down there. I'd have to give up this really good flat. So I went back to Leicester, carried on signing on, and that's what I did. And I actually signed up as well, eventually, to do teaching English as a foreign language course as well. And you could do that through part-time while still signing on. So that was a real positive. But in the meantime, before that actually started, I was just at the flat, and I was picking up the acoustic, and I was writing songs, and I remember picking up the guitar, and that was the first song I wrote in that flat, and it was a real song of hope. I've got a feeling about your heart, it's getting closer every day. It was a song all about hope, and it was not just about that new beginning, but I really felt I was going to meet somebody. And I didn't know at the time when I wrote that, but it was like a premonition, because that autumn I did meet Emma, Eleanor's mum, and it was almost like that song was a kind of premonition about what was going to happen. So yeah, sitting in that flat, great fresh start, and that song came out, and it's very special to me because it's a song of hope, and yeah, and it did actually, it was the premise of something really big happening, and if I hadn't met Emma, I wouldn't have had my daughter, and yeah, life changed, and it was a pivotal moment, not going out of London and staying in Leicester and meeting the mother of my child. So there you go, Summer. That's the story of Summer. Okay, Roger, let's just have a look and see what you've written here. I'm gonna read a couple of comments. Let's just go on here. It'll be easier to read them on here, maybe. Roger says, I remember I had the chance, job of a lifetime for me, to become an artist illustrator for a company called Dragon's Domain, but they kept me hanging on. Then the job just fizzled out. They didn't get the funding to go ahead. Gutted. Yeah, sometimes, you know, life just takes you in different directions, doesn't it? It's not, some things are just not meant to be, you know. And it certainly sounds like you had a very similar one to me. You know, you might have the job and hated it, Rog, you know. But yeah, I'm glad that the job didn't come off for me. You know, I would never have my daughter probably. Oh, and another song. Yeah, this is another song actually that kind of stemmed from sitting in that flat at the Montfort House in Leicester. If any of you've seen the Wildfires live, you would have probably seen us playing this song. This is called Chasing Rainbows. In the sunshine in the street, I see you and people like me. I saw a girl like you yesterday, with big brown eyes and long dark hair, a smile that brightens up anywhere. It's been a long time, I still think about you. And she's so fine, and she's on my mind. Most of the time, yeah, most of the time. What I give to see her again, chasing rainbows in the summertime. Lunch hour hits the city again. You just want to board that train, take a boat out across the river, take a plane to Amsterdam, San Francisco, or Milan. See her in a cafe on a corner, and she's so fine, she's on my mind. Most of the time, yeah, most of the time. What I give to see her again, chasing rainbows in the summertime. Yeah, chasing rainbows in summertime. There's another one to go. Oh, she looks so fine. Yeah, she's on my mind. Oh, she looks so fine. Yeah, she's on my mind. 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 Yeah, yeah. La, 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 she's on my mind. Chasing Rainbows. Chasing Rainbows. Yes. That's one of the oldest songs that I do with the Wildfires, actually. And it's our last gig coming up, folks. Do you realise that we're going to be doing our last two shows coming up on the 5th and the 13th of December? The 5th, we're at Mamaliz. The 13th, Saturday, we're at Rushden Athletic Club. That's it. I'm stepping away from the band. Hiatus. Don't know when I'm going to be back with the band, you know. But that's it. So if we can see you there, it'd be awesome, you know. Yeah. End of an era. But yeah, that song became a Wildfire song, which is off the debut album, Stratigraphic Heart. But let's talk about how it came about. I'd say that song was probably written about 2001, 2002, around that time anyway. And I remember being over in Germany, visiting James and Diane, just for a few days break. And they always get up really late. I don't think they do so much now, but because they're always out gigging, they wouldn't get up till like early afternoon, mid-afternoon, and I was still a bit of an early riser then at that time. I remember getting up and just sitting around, and the guitar was, you know, by their kitchen table, and just working out the basis of that song. But the original chords and idea was actually born in that flat in Leicester, not long after I wrote that song Summer, really. Again, a summer kind of love song, really. The song's all really based about that feeling about a long hot summer. I remember walking around Leicester city centre and I just kept falling in love. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was just something about that time. There's just beautiful women everywhere, you know. And I was in a great place, great mood, and I kept meeting people who, you know, and thought, wow, she's amazing, you know. And yeah, it's all about that feeling, that kind of euphoria, you know. A long hot summer, surrounded by beautiful girls, and just that buzz and wanting to meet somebody special, you know. So I suppose it's similar to summer, really. It's another precursor for that. And you know, maybe meeting someone in a cafe on a corner, or travelling abroad and, you know, going travelling with somebody in Amsterdam and San Francisco, and travelling with somebody or meeting somebody while you're on the road, you know, on some kind of journey. And it's all about that. And also a little bit maybe about the kind of futility, chasing rainbows, and that it never really came to anything at that time. It's also oh, she looks so fine, yeah, she's on my mind. I saw a girl just like you the other day. Now those words, they're centered around somebody. I'm not going to say who it is. She doesn't know that I wrote a song about her. It's someone who I had a crush on years ago, absolutely years ago. And I remember I bumped into her at a party, early 2000s, and we just really hit it off. And that feeling was still there, stronger than ever. and I remember giving her a bit of paper subtly with my email on it and phone number, so do get in touch, let's stay in touch. And I was with somebody at the time, I had a partner at the time, so I didn't really want to push it, but I had this huge feeling for her. I wasn't too sure where my partner at the time was going, and I had still this massive feeling for this girl, and I was really hoping that I would see her again, and she was on my mind. And so that song is kind of a little bit about that as well, and yeah, about that kind of feeling. It's moulded into the whole emotion of that summer. So there you go, Chasing Rainbows. And the Wildfires version, it then became the full big band epic with the kind of sing-along stuff that goes with it. Moving forward, I'm going to be doing, as you know, a lot more acoustic gigs. I've teamed up with a great guitarist, Mr. Dean Sheldrick, who, if you're watching, Dean, hi mate. Yeah, we've done some gigs recently, and hoping to do a lot more with him, and hoping to do some more with Mark and with Barney as well. With Barney's been joining on keys, so it's a very flexible arrangement now moving forward. But with Dean, the last couple of gigs I've done with him have been great, playing that song and getting people to join in, and it works really well acoustically as well as a full band. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Love Chasing Rainbows, says Roger, with a nice rainbow symbol there. Lovely. Thank you, Amber. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you, Amber, on the 5th at Mama Liz for the Wildfires gig. The last time that you would see us in that lineup. Right. How are we doing for time? 1:15. That's not bad. Right, I'm going to tune up, I think, and then we'll play one more song for you. By the way, if anyone's a new listener and you want to catch up on any of the previous streams, if you go to our website, steviejones.com/live streams, you'll be able to see a link there and see all of the previous ones. They're all on YouTube anyway, but they're all on that page. Going right back to the beginning, the first one, right in the middle of lockdowns. In fact, the very first one, I talk quite at length about what got me into music in the first place. I haven't watched it again, but yeah, right back to the beginning. But if I hadn't have done them, I wouldn't be where I am now and thinking about writing a book as well. So it's all good. It's all good. This is a song I haven't done in ages. Yeah. Actually, it's another song off the Wildfires debut album, another song of Stratigraphic Art, and this is the closing track called Today. Someone always gets the lucky breaks. Some of them are chances, and some of them are fakes. So sit tight, watch your back. You're waiting in the shadows. You just got to keep on track. I don't care anymore. So my time I'm looking forward. Nothing's going to stand in my way. Muppets on a Muppet Show. You'll never pass that test. So sit tight and hold on. You gotta keep the faith and hold the light. Don't waste your breath in proving them wrong. I don't care anymore. Serve my time I'm looking for. Nothing's going to stand in my way. Today, 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 today. I don't care anymore. Serve my time I'm looking for. I don't care what they say. They say things in different ways. Hit the road, time to create, time to seize the day. Dig deep in the memory sea with all the truths that I believe, sticking to the path and not stray. Not looking back, I'm looking forward. Not looking back, I'm looking forward. Nothing's going to stand in our way. Today, 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 oh yeah. There you go. There you go. Today. When was that written? Oh, about 2014, I would guess. 2014, I'd say that's the last track of the Wildfires Dave Brown called Stratigraphic Heart. I think I've sold out of CDs from that, but it is available on all the usual platforms. Do check it out. Do have a good listen. Yeah, it was. We recorded the album at Parlour Studios in Kettering, and with Neil Haynes as producer, and it was a great time. That really great time. The core lineup of the Wildfires then was with myself, with Lou Short on bass and Jake Patrick. That was the core kind of trio when we first formed, and then we had guests coming in as well, with Mark coming in, and we had Lucy and Chris and loads of people doing loads of stuff on, Marshall Gill, loads of people doing different instruments and coming in, and it was a great process. It really was. And Russ Russell, God bless Russ Russell, my good friend Russ Russell. Try and say that in a hurry. I hope he's doing okay. I haven't spoken to him for a while, but he was also co-producing as well. Yeah, when it came to that track, I hadn't really fully arranged it in my mind. I'd written it as a kind of rock anthem, a bit like a Soul Asylum type song, sort of big guitars and guitar riffs and a nice solo in it and all this. But I never got time to go into the rehearsal room with the guys and arrange it. So when we got to the studio, I knew I wanted to record the song, and I laid it down to click. And Neil had put this really interesting rhythm as the click, and it changed the whole emphasis of the song. And I kind of liked it. I kind of liked it. It rather than it being a rock song, it came more like a kind of Newton Faulkner, John Butler type vibe, and it worked. You know what I mean? It changed the whole direction of where I wanted to go with the song. And Lou brought in his Gretsch guitar, beautiful Gretsch guitar, and he played a bit of guitar on it. And really nice guitar on it, and a bit of bass, and my acoustic, and that was it. Layered vocals, and it was suddenly done. Suddenly we had this song that I thought was going to be a big rock epic, and then we just stripped it right down, and it works. And if you do get a chance to listen to it, there's a nice video of it as well on YouTube. Look up Stevie Jones, The Wildfires today. It's probably I'd say one of the most positive songs that I've ever written. It's primarily written, I guess, about trying to dismiss all the negative thoughts about being a creative, because when you're a creative, it's just really, you get so distracted by what everyone else is doing, you know. If you're slogging your absolute guts out, and then you turn around and you see somebody who's done who's on the same kind of, scene as you, and suddenly they're getting all of the breaks, you know. They've got the tour, they've got I don't know, loads of festival slots, a record deal, or whatever it may be. And you've been doing loads of work. You haven't had the breaks, but they have. It's really hard sometimes. It kind of drags you down. You're like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? You know what I mean? Or it's just really difficult, you know? You just feel like you're kind of standing still, and they suddenly move forward. And it can get you down, particularly with social media, when people are obviously promoting what they're doing, and rightly so, you know. And you're like kind of running on the spot, or just doing the same type of gigs, or not getting replies from festivals. It can get you down. And this was a kind of antidote to that. It was a kind of reaction to it, to go, for goodness sake, just ignore what everyone else is doing. Chase your own path, create your own path. You know, your path will take you to different routes. You know, you might not get the same festivals as everybody else, and what people might expect you to do. You might not be on, I don't know, Planet Rock or BBC Introducing, whatever it may be, but your path will take you somewhere, you know. And that's how it's gone for me. It's gone for me, you know. And I think it happens to so many people now, particularly with independent artists, you know, more and more as years have gone by. I mean, that song's 11 years old, but now even more so. You know, bands, you know, you'll know about this, Roger and Alice, with bands like Solstice and Ebony. Great artists, been around for years, you know. They're getting their own gigs, you know what I mean? They haven't got some big agent booking everything for them. They haven't got a big record deal. They're carving out their own paths. They're putting on their own gigs. They're doing their own thing, you know. And it's leading them in their direction and their own destiny. And that song's all about that. And it's all about taking positivity from that. Ignoring all the critics, ignoring the expectations of what many people might think you're doing. And yeah, and you can apply that song not just to music, but maybe to other areas of your life, like you were saying earlier, Roger, about jobs. You know, just because you didn't get a job in a certain field, perhaps it wasn't meant to be, and perhaps you'll find your own path. You know, and yeah, it's about being positive, really, and being proud of what you do. I don't write loads of positive songs, but that's one of them. and it rounded off the album really nicely. So yeah, if you haven't heard the studio version, do check it out. But it's nice to do that one tonight. I don't play it very often, and whether or not that'll make it onto the new acoustic album, I don't know. But we've got the story. We've nailed the story tonight. There's the notes to prove it. And if it doesn't make it into the book, then it's all prepared. I'm going to be working on the book with Mr. Neil Matthews. We've already had a meeting with the printers, so we know what's involved. We've got a few ideas. Yeah, it's just early days, you know. But anything that you can donate tonight will go towards funding the studio time and the whole thing. And it's going to take a while to get it together. But the best things do, you know. And yeah, I think I'm probably going to wrap it up about now. Is there anything else I'm going to say? I don't think there is. I think the main thing is thank you very much for the support, really. And you know, I really appreciate everyone tuning into these. And yeah, I hope to see you at one of my gigs soon. I am doing covers gigs as well. Like last weekend, I was in Peterborough and Hinckley doing my cover sets. They're completely different to what I do originals. It's just I just stick my head down, churn through loads of covers, and stick me in the corner of a bar or a cafe, and I'll do that. But it's a very different type of gig to stuff I do when I'm doing original stuff. You know, I don't play any originals at those types of gigs. I keep it very separate. It's a different job altogether. But I enjoy it, and I meet some nice people, and I'm very privileged that I can do that. You know, to earn a living. So yeah, if I don't see a covers gig, hope to see you on the 5th at Mama Liz, or the 13th at Resident Athletic Club for the final Wildfires shows. Just one more thing before I go. We did have a rehearsal. Me, Bob, Alfie, and Kirk from Head Switcher, who is going to be stepping in on drums. And we had a rehearsal last Monday in Northampton, and it was great. It was really good. It was really good. We just nailed the song straight away, and we're all really looking forward to these last couple of shows. Alfie's going to be going off travelling, and yeah, and Kirk's obviously concentrating on the Head Switcher. Bob is talking about travelling as well, maybe moving to Poland. That was one of his suggestions, because obviously he is Polish. And they were over there in the summer and really enjoyed it. So yeah, it's the right time for the band to us all to go do different things anyway. It doesn't feel forced or anything like that. It's a natural conclusion, and we'd like you all to be there anyway for those last couple of gigs. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm going to leave it there. It's just before past, so I like to do it just around an hour. So we've nailed it. I'll see you next time. Take care.